Yo, what's up, Pelly Peeps? I posted something on the sales chat this morning about, it was John DeRosa's video about becoming detached from the outcome of the sale. And I know you guys don't hear from me a whole lot. I used to do a lot more of these videos, but when I heard his message this morning, it was so profound, and I believe it to be such a needle mover, an important part of any salesperson's career and their success, that it justified me putting a few of my own words to it in the hopes that it helps you guys. So many of the decisions that people make, that our customers make whenever they're buying a roof, when you make when you're buying anything, most of this stuff happens on the subconscious level, guys. A lot of times we think it's like price or product or whatever. So often this is really about judgments that the customer is making early on in the process, right away, literally the first few seconds. There's some sales gurus out there that'll tell you like the decision buying, the decision to buy something is made in like the first 7 or 8 seconds, you know. And I think what they're referring to there is subconsciously, because we know buyers are they're not signing anything before you give them a price and talk about the product and all that, but they're making a judgment. And these judgments are not just made on the conscious level, like, oh, this person looks like they have their stuff together, they're clean cut, or they came prepared, or they speak well, or like, it's not that stuff that's really driving it. It's the underneath subconscious stuff that's driving these decisions. And a lot of that has to do with like connection and energy. This is how people make decisions. And so, you know, John gave some examples there of like times in his sales career where he's 2 weeks into the month and he's already hit his quota and he can't turn the faucet off, and everybody wants to buy from him. And he's like, what the hell? Because last month he's 3 weeks in and he's 5 short of his quota and he can't do anything to sell anything. And if you've been in sales for longer than just 6 months, you know that to be a truth. It's weird how it just moves in cycles, and sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. Well, there is some explanation to that. It's not all a mystery. And one of the ways that we affect the outcome of the sale is by our focusing on the outcome of the sale. And whenever we're thinking, I have got to make this sale work, the customer picks up on that. They feel it, they sense it. They probably can't even put words to it sometimes, but they do. And I want to give you a couple of examples as to how you've probably seen this play out in other areas before. The first one that comes to mind is with a girlfriend or boyfriend. So think about a time in your life where like maybe someone like really liked you. I hope you all have had that experience. Maybe someone like really was into you, and they were kind of like just a lot, like calling a lot, a little smothering, maybe there's a little pressure. Do you recall how that made you feel? It's like a natural repellent when someone is like super into you. And on the converse side, can you imagine a time when you or someone you were interested in was a little more standoffish and kind of played hard to get? Or maybe they weren't playing hard to get, but they were fine either way. Like, yeah, we can get together, or maybe not, whatever. You know how much more you want to be with them whenever they're like that? How many guys have pursued women because it's a challenge and we want to conquer that challenge? Think about whenever when someone's talking to you, you got these close talkers. Someone that's like, they just, every time, like they initiate the conversation and they're like 1 foot inside of that natural bubble, and you're like, they're kind of close, and you start to inch away. You kind of just back off a little bit. Let me set my cruise here so I don't get my 4th speeding ticket in a year driving through these little towns. So don't follow my example. This is why my truck is not wrapped, because I don't have my driving under control yet. So like what you naturally do when that person starts close talking is you just start inching away, right? They're too close. There's too much pressure. You know, the converse of that is also true. If you could do this as an experiment. If you just kind of naturally take steps away from people whenever they're talking, you will watch that they will start to step towards you some. They're going to close that. You don't want me, I want you. Like that stuff plays out every day. And so when you go to sell and you get out of your truck and you're like stressed and you're thinking, man, I got to get this one. I just need a deal. Trust me, the customer feels it. Sometimes it's conscious, and oftentimes it's not. So that's all good in theory if you guys buy into that concept, and I hope you do, and you've seen this and you understand it. We have to figure out, okay, well, how do I not do that? Because you're gonna tell me to just not be stressed when I'm 3 weeks in and I've sold one roof and one repair or something, and like things aren't going great. That's the hard part. Now we have to realize we do have autonomy and power and control over our energy and our emotions, but it takes work. You can't just get out your truck the same way. So the first thing we have to understand is that we know that if we pressure that customer, or if they feel the pressure of us in that situation, it will not help us and it will not increase our closing ratio. Therefore, it's just gonna hurt. We only have so many deals a month, opportunities a month to close a deal. You get so many leads and you're gonna have so many door knocks, and after that, that's it. And so you don't wanna waste them with the energy that you bring. And so you've gotta get into a bit of a fuck it mentality. Man, fuck it. I don't know if this one's gonna close. Maybe this one closes, maybe this one doesn't. But I'm gonna go on 15 of these this month, or whatever it is. And maybe the next one closes. But we have to approach everyone like that. Another example, I've been selling a lot of stuff on Marketplace for this little double the dollar challenge I'm doing, if any of you have seen that. I've got all these listings, and man, as soon as I tell someone else that there's other interest, they want it 10 times as bad because they can't have it. If your customer thinks that it's not a big deal and you're going on to sell the next roof, and you've got a lot of customers that are interested in your product and service, they're gonna be more attracted to it. We don't fabricate things. I don't get on Marketplace and tell someone there's 3 people interested when no one's asking me about it. That's unethical. But if we carry ourselves in such a way that illustrates that mindset and energy of, man, look, I don't know if I'm the right fit for you. Like, let me figure that out first. Like, we are not the right fit for every customer. Like some customers just have to save a buck, and they are willing to risk getting a bad roof on it, and maybe they're gonna sell that house in 2 years and someone else would have the problem, or maybe they're just willing to roll the dice on a contractor that just doesn't have our reputation and reviews. Like, we're not for everybody. We're not gonna put on just any product out in the market. So we're not a fit for everybody. Let me first figure out if we're a fit for you. That sets the tone for the customer. And they'll start inching towards us a little bit. Now, this doesn't mean we don't follow up. This doesn't mean that we're not aggressive in our follow-up, but it's the way, the tone in which we pursue the customer that's important in what we're talking about here. We have to stay in touch with the customer, but we're not desperate when we call. That's why this strategy works so well. Like, Jason has taught a lot of you guys this. When you go to follow up with a customer, and that last call sometimes is like, hey, I just wanted to let you know if I needed one last call. I have to close out your file because it's been X amount of time. I just wanted to to reach out before I did that and make sure that's where we needed to be. And more, you're gonna get a much better response from a customer from that, as opposed to, hey, I'm just following up again, see what you wanna do. Like, you're telling them that you're okay with closing the file out. No pressure. I can close it out and move on to the next deal. No big deal. But ask some people around you if you haven't seen this for yourself. It works. The customers call back more often, not every time, but more often. So detach from the outcome of the sale. You're gonna, if you just follow the procedures, if you go through the training, and if you do the things that we train you guys to do and you put in the reps, you're gonna close. You're gonna close enough and more. So don't stress about this one not closing or the next one not closing. They're gonna come. It's a numbers game. So walk into that appointment with a little bit of a fuck it attitude, like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna just do the best I can for this customer, and then we'll see where the chips fall. Super important, guys. And if you need a boyfriend or girlfriend, you can use that tip too, because it's gonna work for you. All right, you guys, in the words of John DeRosa, go sell something.